What's up, y'all? Welcome to the DJ Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hold on. Yeah. And I see Spook Round 4Q is first in the building as usual. What's good, my brother? Imperial Jada MC, what's up? It's kind of cold. It's been kind of chilly in this New York area the past couple of days, man. Woo! I wasn't ready. Gregory Nettis, what up? This is he says, yo, Kenny, did you know that Cameron from Young Black Teenagers had a fight with the icon Martin Lawrence on the set of House Party 2? Martin was a boxer for real, and he can box. No, I did not know that. Young Black Teenagers get a lot of run on this channel. Shout out to the Young Black Teenagers. Shout out to our man Scribbles, and shout out to Cameron too. Imperial Jada MC says, about to check out the BET Hip Hop Awards and kick it with KP. Thank you so much for giving me a little bit of your time there. I don't even really watch award shows, so I didn't even know it was coming on. J Wu 72, what up? Big Bat, what up from Dallas, Oak Cliff, all up in this piece. Yes. Henry Cedillo. So shout out from the LBC. Word. And it says Wu-Tang Killer Bees. Wu-Tang Killer Bees on the swarm. Jay Wu says, yo, Kenny, have you ever been to Toad's Place, 300 York Street in the heart of Yale University? I was on stage when KRS-One, someone threw a bottle at him, but he still rocked. I remember that. He got hit with a bottle, and he still rocked, but he had to go to the hospital after that. I remember that. That was a few years back. That had to be like 08 or 09, right? Rod Justice, what's up? E-Money says missing. I've been missing for 2 weeks. Caught the replay. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody who's going to catch the replay later on to the DJ Kenny Parker Show. We just in here kicking it today. This is an interesting question. Abel Valdez says, who's your favorite Wu-Tang member? I love them all, but Ghost grew on me. After all these years, I'm going with Ghost as my favorite. Wow, that's a tough one, man. On a personal level, I'm going to shout out to Jizza, because the Jizza is the person I've seen the most, and I'm the coolest with in the crew. Shout out to the Jizza. I met him before Wu-Tang when he was the Genius. We had a show with the Genius. It was a show, I believe it was KRS-One, or it was Boogie Down Productions then. Black Sheep, when they had Flavor of the Month. This is before The Choice Is Yours. So it was Black Sheep, Flavor of the Month, Boogie Down Productions, and The Genius, if I recall. Lyrically, wow, I love all of them. I mean, that Purple Tape really, I wasn't ready for Rain Ghost. That combination, Rain Ghost on that Purple Tape, I really love. I love Meth. Like, Inspector Deck was one of my favorites. He always goes first. Inspector Deck goes first on every song. That's the rules. I don't really have a favorite. Personally, Jizza and Rain Ghost for the blend. MMA Crossfire, what's up? Ilroy says, RIP Brownsville, KA. What does that mean? MMA says, most of the regulars in the building. I love to see the regular names in here. Let's see. Terrence Hill. What's up? Green Lion Entertainment. I got something in my throat. Green Lion Entertainment. What's good? Might be that cold weather. That cold. It's not really cold, but it's a little chilly for October around here. Dear Marasuti, peace from Scarborough, Canada. Riding Dirty Face. I love that name. R.I.P. K.A. What is K.A.? Much love. DJ KP from Tuscan, I guess Tuscan, Arizona. What's K.A.? Maybe somebody will clue me in. Supreme Divine, what's good? Catching a live, sweet Goldilocks. Hey, what's going on? Corey Flood is in the building. Firebird Phoenix, haven't seen that name in a while. What's good? Rod Justice. Rod Justice said, I have not watched an award show since the 80s. Damn. Now, I could say I haven't watched award shows since then, but I probably haven't watched an award show since the early 2000s. A Steele, Jay Kenyatta, what's up? Mike Rocks 25 says, KP got the girlfriend hooked on the podcast. What's up to you and yours? Thank you so much. We in here rocking. We just talking about whatever you guys want to talk about today. I'm just scrolling through trying to catch up on all the regulars before we jump into a topic. Benny Doyle says, let's roll. Another Tuesday. Kenny, what's the best slice in Brooklyn? In Brooklyn, well, I'm not sure. I haven't had pizza in a long time, especially not in BK. I thought the best pizza growing up was in the Bronx, by the way. So best pizza in Brooklyn, I don't know, but I know in Bronx had some great pizza when I was growing up. Tone 210 says, Kenny, it's October and San Antonio, Texas is still hot. I like warm weather, man. I've done so many New York winters and I just can't do it, man. E Money says, F all award shows, word. That's my sentiment, really. Henry Sedilla says, Brother Ken, tell us your first experience in the Tunnel Club. Well, the Tunnel Club wasn't that wild when I first went there. You got to understand, the Tunnel was a party that was moving from place to place. And there's a lady named Jessica Rosenblum. Shout out to Stress Entertainment. She's the one who she used to manage Flex, and she's the one who put Flex on Hot 97. She used to do a lot of parties with Puff Daddy. And then she branched off and started doing her own thing. She used to do the building. They used to call it the Powerhouse. She used to do that. She used to do Tavern on the Green. She used to do all the exclusive industry parties. And I was at all of her parties, as you guys can imagine. And then I remember they moved the party to Grand Street on 13th and Grand. No, 13th and University Place in Manhattan. The place was called the Grand. And that was the party for a while. And these parties were like, she wouldn't give out flyers or nothing. It was just word of mouth. So you had to know somebody to get to these parties. And then whenever they got too big, she would move the location. So finally, she moved it from the Grand to the Tunnel, which the Tunnel was a club that mostly was like dance music and house music. And once in a while, they'll have hip hops. And I never had really gone to the Tunnel, but they moved the party to the Tunnel. And they brought Funkmaster Flex there. And I remember the early days there because I remember knowing everybody there because everybody from one party was just moving over from the Grand to the Tunnel. One of the first early in there, I remember J. Rue the Damager performed in there. Come Clean. So it had to be like the first few weeks of the Tunnel. Come Clean was the record. And I remember J. Rue performed there, and I seen the Notorious Big do Dreams of Fucking R&B Bitch. That record was hot. As I sit back, relax, that record was hot in there too. And I saw Big perform that record in the Tunnel. And then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it became legendary. So long story short, that was my first experience in the Tunnel. I don't remember the first day, but I remember like the first weeks. Rap Salute says Ghostface hands down. as I guess is your favorite Wu member. Jeff Worrell, Tuesday, what's good? Tone 210 says Jizz is the most lyrical in Wu. They all bring an excellent style to the table, man. I don't have a favorite like that. I love Meth. Long as Inspector Deck, as long as the Rebel INS goes first, I'm good. Corey Flux, KRS-One any awards besides the VH1 honors? It don't matter. Who gives a fuck about a goddamn Grammy? I'm still with that. Who gives a fuck about what they like? Shout out to Chuck D, Public Enemy. He won a BET Lifetime Achievement Award, Hip Hop Award, curiously called I Am Hip Hop Award, which is KRS-One coined that term, and it eventually became an award show that BET titled I Am Hip Hop. And I believe the first recipient was Grandmaster Flash, who's right there, me and him. And the second recipient was KRS-One. So he has a BET I Am Hip Hop Award. He has the VH1 Honors Award. It's off the top of my head. We were nominated for, there's a New York Music Awards, like the Grammys or like American Music Awards. There's a New York Music Awards, and I remember we was nominated for Sex and Violence was nominated for one Rap Album of the Year. I remember we went to that award show in '92. I can't remember who won. We didn't win. I can't remember who won. Okay, he has a Source Awards, Best Live Performance, the very first Source Awards. And I did a breakdown of the very first Source Awards. This is one of my epic fails. I hope you guys checked it out. I'm going to get back into the epic fails too. I have a few that I need to do. One of them is going to be the tunnel. He has a Source Award for Best Live Performance of 93 in the 94 Source Awards. He might have been nominated for a Grammy. I know Shaba's album won a Grammy, and KRS did a song with him called The Jam. And I don't know if he got a Grammy award for that, but that album won Reggae Album of the Year. And he did a record with REM. I'm not sure if they were nominated for a Grammy too. I think he went to the Grammys with REM, Michael Stipe. I know REM won a Grammy, but I don't know if he won it in the category that with him and Chris. So those are my answers off the top of my head. Good question, though. But Chris is not a fan of the Grammys at all, as you guys saw. Let's see. JT said he's not going to be able to hang around. He's on the road. Shout out to JT, one of the regulars. We'll catch you next week, JT, God willing. Think next week we will have a guest. Don't hold me to that. 49 Neil says, yo, Kenny, what's up? 49 Neil, what's good? Latrice Washington, what's up? Henry Buha says, Kenny, I made it to a live again. I'm so happy when you guys can catch the live Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know you guys got a lot going on in your life. I do as well, but I purposely take out the time to say, let me make sure I plan my week around this Tuesday so I can kick it with you guys because I enjoy this a lot. Terrence Hill says, shout out to everyone being safe from the hurricanes in Florida. Word. They got hit back to back. Shout out to my homegirl Safari sister Al from Queen Latifah. I got to hit her up, make sure she's doing well. Yeah, Florida got back to back, man. Henry Munez says, Munez, I hope I'm sorry I'm butchering your name. Says Brownsville Kai is the MC from Brooklyn. He just passed. Oh, I didn't know who that was, but rest in peace to him and condolences to his family. Brownsville is the realest of the real. Brooklyn was super hood, and Brownsville was the capital of hood in the hood. That's where MOP and Mike Tyson is from. Imagine 1,000 Mike Tysons and MOPs running around. Not 1,000, thousands. H. Bippy. Hey, what's going on, H. Bippy? Oh. Cut from a different cloth says, at DJ Kenny Parker, what position did you play in played basketball? What were you known for? Jump shot, going to the hole, dunking. I go into great detail in the book. The link is in the description below. I played in college. I played small forward. This is interesting. Benny Doyle says Vince Carter is in the Hall of Fame, as he deserves to be. I think he's the greatest dunker in the history of basketball. Greatest live in-game dunker in history. And he shouted out Ray for Alston. That's dope. Shout out to Skip to Malou. Ben's Bamillion. That's a new name. What's good? Welcome to the DJ Kenny Parker Show. Says, do you still have the drums from Duck Down? My first ever record I bought. That's dope. No, I did not produce Duck Down. That was Pal Joey who produced that song. The same guy who did Love's Gonna Get You. So no, I do not have those drums. Them drums were hard though. Terrence Hill says award shows for pimps and hoes. Exactly. That's what Chris says. Henry Sedil said, Kenny, where did your family migrate from? My family is from Brooklyn, New York. We didn't migrate. We're from BK all day. And the Bronx. MMA Crossfire says, without Carter, Toronto might not have a basketball team now. That is probably that. He definitely was the show for a few years there. I mean, they might have still, basketball is so popular, they might have still been able to keep a team, but who knows? NBA franchises are pretty stable, though. If this was in like the 70s or early 80s and teams were folding and teams were moving, I would say now a team is pretty stable. And with that TV money and all that, I think the least valuable team in the NBA, I don't know who that would be, but the least valuable team in the NBA is probably worth hundreds of millions. But he definitely put butts in the seats, though. Ilroy says KA is down with Rock Marcy. He has about 10 albums out and it's so dope. One of his first appearances is on Jizz's Pro Tools album. Oh, dope. Man, I'm just losing people every week, man. Every week. Let me scroll down a little bit. Benny Doyle, scroll down. Anthony August, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. I really appreciate it. He says, Deck is the illest. I think, and what is your view of Jaguar Wright? Have you ever met her? No, I have never met Jaguar Wright. She is very hot in the world of social media and even in the news right now. She's very courageous. And, there was a moment she was talking like this about exposing people in the industry about 3 years ago or so, and then she got quiet. I thought something happened to her, but now she's come back with a real bang. And the thing about Jaguar Wright is, well, it's a mixed bag because I've had this conversation with a friend of mine. They were saying that Jaguar Wright is saying other people's stories. Like she's telling things that other people have the right to say or not to say. Like it might not be her right to say certain things, like people's sexuality and certain things like that. Which I can hear that argument, but she also predicted the fall of the House of Cards. And a lot of what she's saying is checked out. Few years back, she was saying some things, and I happen to be privy to some of the information that she was saying from reliable sources. And a lot of what she was saying checked out a few years ago. Now, I don't know how much of what she's saying is true, but some of the stuff she even said a few months ago is now coming out now in court papers. So if 75% of what she's saying is true, that's scary. If 50% of what she's saying is true, that is a scary thought. But she's being very courageous, because if these people are as powerful as she's saying they are, and as people are saying in these court papers, then she's putting herself at risk. So we'll see how it works out for her. I mean, if what she says is true, I hope she's protected by the Almighty to the highest, and let the truth come out. And if what she says is not true, then that's terrible. But a lot of her stuff is checking out. So that's my long-winded response to Jaguar Wright. I've never met her that I know of. She has a lot of industry friends, and she gets a lot of information from industry people. So I'm sure we have mutual friends. So, hopefully my name will never come up in that conversation. Although I say, let all truth shine. Man, the Sam says, hey, Kenny, much love from the Netherlands. Shout out to the Netherlands. I think we did a show there. I DJ'd back in like 2010, I believe. Let me do the Benny Doyle scroll down. I'm going to scroll all the way down, because I'll be behind in some of these comments. Gregory Netta says, Sean Kemp, the Rain Man, is the best in-game dunker ever. I don't know about that one, man. Once again, it's a matter of opinion. I've seen all the Rain Man highlights, and he's had some good ones, but that Vince, man, for his size, Papa Sincere says, Vince dunked over 7 foot in the Olympics will never be replicated. And the sad part about it is that guy, that 7-footer that he dunked on, I do believe the Knicks had invited him to training camp. And when they saw Vince Carter jump over him and he just cower and let Vince jump over him, they rescinded the offer. That dunk cost that 7-footer a chance at the NBA. It's crazy. MMA Crossfire said, Kenny, in Carter's heyday, Vancouver folded and moved to Memphis. You are correct. I stand corrected. Did they fold? They didn't fold. Guess they moved. Is that the same as folded? New ownership? Somebody bought the team and moved it. I don't know if that's so much folded as, somebody, a new owner buys the team. Whoever owns the team sells it to a new owner, and they say we're moving it to a new city. That does not necessarily mean the team folded. That just means somebody else is taking it to their city. Folded to me means the team shut the doors. They didn't move anywhere. They just ran out of money, which used to happen in the 70s, and they folded. But I'm not sure of the exact circumstances of Vancouver, so I'm going to say I stand corrected on that, MMA Crossfire. Thank you so much for that fact check. Let's see. I see Vince Carter is getting a lot of love on here. I think Vince Carter is one of the greatest overall talents ever to play in the league. I think he had this switch that he turned on and off. And I think when he turned the off switch, he just kind of cruised a lot. But when he turned the on switch on, he was one of the best in the game. And I think that on-off switch is what stopped him from getting to the absolute pinnacle. Because he had times where he was hurt, and then he'll come back and be like he'll be hurt, and he'll come back and like he was never hurt. It was just a lot of weird stuff around his performances, so it wasn't consistent, if I recall. But when he had to switch on, he was as good as anybody, man. And to the rim, he was as good as anybody. Typo 20 says he was originally down with Natural Elements. I remember them. Okay. Joey Joe says it's probably good Kenny has never met Jaguar Wright. I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything to hide. So, me and Jaguar might have been cool. I don't know. A lot of what she's talking about is negative. Like she's going against a lot of people who she feels has done wrong in the game. So I don't really hear her talk that much about who she's down with, like who are the good people. She talks about who are the bad people. I would love to hear her talk about who are the good people, like that are solid dudes that she feels are solid. I mean, she's mentioned a couple here and there that she's down with, like the dude from the Roots that passed away. Is it Malik B? I think she was friends with him. But I would like to see who she thinks are solid. But yo, this house of cards is falling, y'all. It's crazy. Are y'all seeing everything that's going on with this whole thing? I don't really like to dwell on the whole Diddy thing. I mean, my timeline is just flooded. Like dudes are just, it's getting to the point now where you could just get tens of thousands of views if you just put Diddy's face in the thumbnail. I think I'm not here to get cheap views by just giving an opinion. So I don't even put Diddy in none of my stuff. But if you're just watching it just casually, the whole house of cards is about to come down, man. It's crazy what's going on. And good. That all of these gatekeepers and evil, wicked people in all, in movies, in television and music, let them all fall, man. Geechee says Jaguar Wright's recent interview with Orlando Brown totally discredited everything she's about. It was a complete shit show. I didn't see that. She's a walking gossip columnist, says Typo 2020. She is, and she's getting she's becoming very relevant because a lot of what she's saying is coming to pass. See, that's the thing. A lot of people talk, but a lot of it be opinions. A lot of it be falsehoods. A lot of it be obvious things that you can see in the news. Like if you just put two and two together, you could piece together. Some of the stuff she says is behind the scenes insider stuff that is coming to pass. From what I've seen, I've not seen every one of her interviews, but she is really stirring up a firestorm. So are a few people. I respect the people that was talking before everything come out. It's easy to talk about Diddy now. He's in jail with shackles on. They said he came to court with shackles around his feet and his hands. Now everybody's tough and talking. Why didn't you say something a few years ago when he was outside? And I respect the people I respect the whistleblowers who say something in real time, not when it's convenient, not when it's safe. Rod Justice says, I thought Jaguar Wright was just salty because it did not work out for her. So she set out to expose people. That could be true. She could have a motivation. I don't know what her motivation is. But it's still what she's saying is checking out. See, that's the thing. What she's saying is coming true. Geechee said Jaguar Wright is a new version of Azealia Banks, just coming up with crazy wish. Nah, Azealia Banks to me just be talking, just be having opinions. Jaguar's a little bit different. I'm telling you, some of the things that she said, I don't know who her sources are, but I'm talking about a few years ago, before all of this. I'm talking about the first wave of Jaguar. She said some things that were behind the scenes that were true, that you had to really be in the know to know. And I don't know what her motivations are. Like I said, I don't know this woman at all. But anything that brings down the House of Cards, I'm with it. Anything that exposes the Wizard of Oz, I'm down. You know how I feel about all these industry people on this channel. I've said this from day one. Fuck them all. Henry Cedillo, well, that explains a lot to me. Jaguar, I can see someone is hurting and has low self-esteem. Maybe. She could have low self-esteem and be telling the truth. Two things could be true at the same time. Scuba says, man, she clowned Common. First of all, Common is the homie. That's my dude. I'll never say anything disrespectful about Common on this show. So that's the homie. I don't know what he does behind the closed doors, but if people got dirty laundry and it's coming out now, hey, I mean, I'm not down with tattletales though. Like people do things, consenting adults doing things behind closed doors and then people telling later on. I don't think that's right. But criminal acts, drugging people, forcing people to do things against their will, extortion, things like that, let it out, man. I would love to get Common on this show. Let me move on. Crown Jewel says, was you on tour in UK with KRS and Supernatural? I was at Leeds and Manchester. Yes, I was. I was on that tour. Shout out to my man Supernat. I got a breakdown on check out my Juice Crew Epic Fails. I talk about him. Taheem Reeves, what up? Taheem Reyes, what up? That's my dude. Half Man, Half Amazing, Hall of Famer. That's dope. That's dope, man. I wonder how many North Carolina players are in the Hall of Fame. Earl Green says, what up, DJ KP? Peace to everybody checking out the channel. Hit the like button, please. Yes, if you get a chance, please hit the like button because it helps the algorithm, and more like-minded people like us could check out the show and just enjoy the conversation. MMA said they moved it, Kenny. You're right. Yeah, I do believe that they moved Vancouver Grizzlies. Yeah. See a lot of basketball conversation in here. Let me scroll down a little bit. GNU SCB. GNU SCB. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your contribution to the channel. Much love, KP from Toronto, Canada. I love Toronto. We've done a few shows there. Beautiful city. Hip hop is real in Canada, man. It's cold out there, though. This is a good question. Question of Blackwell says, were there any BDP songs released or unreleased that you, KRS, D-Nice, Willie D didn't like? Yeah, I'm sure. First of all, if KRS didn't like it, it didn't come out. So start there. Like I've said before, his word was the end all. He is the final say, the beginning say, the all say. %95 of everything that happened in Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One, and KRS-One is his idea or is his blessing. And then the 5% of things that was somebody else's idea still had to go through him. So if KRS didn't like it, it didn't come out. I can't speak for D-Nice. Me and D-Nice, our paths didn't really cross. The end of his time in BDP was the beginning of my time. I mean, our paths crossed as just chilling, but not in the group. Me and D-Nice were never in the group together. I was only in the studio with D-Nice a few times. Songs that I didn't like. I did a Black Cop breakdown. I think it was on, was it on Sex and Violence? My Sex and Violence breakdown? I can't remember which breakdown it was. I talk about how we did the Sex and Violence song, how we did Black Cop. I co-produced Black Cop, and I did not like that song. I didn't like the track before I heard the vocals. I left the studio before the vocals were even laid down because I worked on the drums, but I didn't want the reggae part in it. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I didn't want that part. And Chris insisted on having that in there, and he was correct. But I didn't like that part of the song, so I got mad and left the studio. And I didn't hear Black Cop until I was in the club and somebody threw it on. And I was like, oh, the vocals. Let me think of another song I didn't like. You know what I didn't like? I loved MCs Act Like They Don't Know, but I didn't like the chorus. I wish it had more of a chorus. Preem was cutting up MCs Act Like They Don't Know. MCs Act Like They Don't Know. And which, of course, anything Preem is cutting is dope. But I wish that song had more of a chorus. I remember that. I love the beat. I love the rhymes. I just wish it had a more melodic chorus. I remember that. That's off just the top of my head. But unreleased, I'm sure there's a bunch of songs that's unreleased that you guys never heard because we didn't like it. Let me move on. Flowetry one. This is interesting. He says, I used to have Baron Davis as my favorite player on the Warriors. I saw Baron Davis. I do believe it was either his second year or his third year in the NBA. This is before he was an all-star. He was just a good player. And he came to Rucker Park in New York. And you know how all of the like street guys are always talking about how they're just as good as the players in the NBA, and the only difference between them and the NBA is those guys are on TV and they just as nice, and I wish one of them dudes would come down here and all that. Baron Davis, it might have been his second year or third year, came to Rucker Park in New York City and destroyed everybody so bad that the announcer was calling him Too Easy. That was his nickname. Too easy. It's too easy. That's what they were saying. It's too easy. I remember thinking to myself, I might have been there that day. I might have been watching that in the crowd. Because I remember thinking to myself, yo, the NBA is ridiculous because this guy, Baron Davis, isn't even an all-star. He is a good player, and he is destroying Rucker Park. The Pro Rucker Park League. He destroyed it. It's calling him Too Easy, and this guy isn't even a top NBA player. I remember thinking to myself, boy, the NBA is ridiculous because Baron Davis is destroying them. Then a few years later, Baron Davis ascended to an all-star level. But you brought up Baron Davis, that just sparked a thought in my mind. Love this basketball talk today here, y'all. Jamil says, I was just wondering if you and your brother KRS-One have any plans to release any projects next year. Well, there's no plans at the moment. I mean, me and Chris always talk about stuff. Like, he always like, you got beats, let's do something. But, you know, it's a matter of him wanting to do it and we really just sitting down and just knocking stuff out. But as of right now, we don't have any plans to release anything. I'm gonna scroll down. I'm jumping all over the place, y'all. I'm trying to get to. I be missing mad comments. I say this every week. Brand Yakubian, what's up, Kenny? Would you ever go on another platform like Vlad TV or Art of Dialogue? I would. I've been on other platforms talking. I did Lord Jamar's show. Did a few shows. Did Sway in the Morning, did a bunch of radio, did Ed Lover, shout out to my man Ed Lover. I did a few shows. Vlad, I mean, I'd have to think about that one, but yeah, probably. Art of Dialogue for sure. If these guys want to talk, I would love to go on there. Art of Dialogue has blown up in the past couple of years. Shout out to him. He's taking his channel to another level. Because I remember before he used to just talk about Tupac. It was like a straight Tupac channel. And now he's evolved it. Oh, this is interesting. Mike Rocks 25 says, Wax Prophetic. I go back to when Buck Williams was with the Nets. Me too. I go back to when Buck Williams was on the Nets. Darryl Dawkins, when he left Philly to come to the Nets. I'll throw out a bunch of names. I'll throw out Foots Walker. I'll throw out Mike Newland. Edgar Jones. Don't play with me. I go back with the Nets too. Don't play with me, y'all. Y'all want to get on here. Don't play with me. We can go back. ACAB. Yes, KP. Where was the maddest crowd at the gigs you and Chris rocked? You mean by maddest? You mean like rocking? I think the illest crowd I've ever seen was the PM Dawn incident. I did a PM Dawn breakdown on this channel. If you guys have not seen it, I did it like 2 years ago. It's one of my first videos what the PM Dawn incident, the real story, not the bullshit that's floating around on the net. That's the wildest I've ever seen a crowd in my life. Yeah. That's the number one wildest thing I've ever seen. We've done some wild shows. That has to be number one. We did a show in Apollo in 92. KRS-One, and we brought out Biz Markie, and the crowd didn't even know he was a surprise guest. And KRS-One and Biz went back to back, song for song, for an hour in the Apollo. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. KRS, then Biz, then KRS, then Biz. Then they got together and Biz was doing a beatbox and Chris was rocking. Biz always says that's his greatest show ever. And that's one of the wildest I've ever seen, because Apollo could get really wild. The Apollo, for those of you that don't know about the Apollo Theater, they encourage you to boo people. So the Apollo is love it or leave it. Either they're going to boo you off the stage or they're going to show you the greatest amount of love you ever received in your life. Of course, when you do a concert there, people are paying to see you. So you're going to get a lot of love. But we've done a bunch of shows at the Apollo. But that one with Biz and the PM Dawn right at the top of the two wildest that I've ever seen for me. John Lee, Jaguar talent is so-so. She was never going to be a star, backup singer at best. I don't know about that, John Lee, because it's hard to predict. All you need to do is catch the right song. I saw Jaguar Wright when I know her as the girl who was singing on Jay-Z's Live. Ain't no love in the heart of the city. You ever seen that live when the Roots was Jay-Z's backing band and he did that live performance? I forgot what it was for. Maybe it was VH1. I thought that was one of Jay-Z's best performances. And Jaguar Wright, who was pregnant at the time, and I think that hurt her career a lot. She was pregnant at the time, and she was singing Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City. She sang some background for Jay, and she murdered it. To say someone is never going to be a star, you don't know. There's people who can't really sing that well who are big stars. There's people who can sing and blow the whole room away that no one's ever heard of. You just don't know. There's so many things that go into how somebody gets a hit record. One day I'm going to break down my views on that. It's a whole process. And timing and record company is so much behind it. I think Jaguar Wright is talented enough to have had a hit, but getting that right record is super hard. Gregory Netta said Gene Deal was saying stuff about Puffy for a while. Yes, he was for years. Now, to me, he seemed a little disgruntled to me. I don't know him at all. A lot of what I think he's going to get brought into court because he's speaking as an eyewitness to things. And a lot of what he says is checked out too, to the point where I would bring him into court. Say that again, what you said on the videos on your channel. Say that again in front of this jury. But yeah, he has spoken out against Puff. He has said some things. 50 Cent has gone hard. Wendy Williams used to go real hard back in the 90s. But she used to go hard at everybody. Wendy Williams is the original Jaguar Wright. Wendy is the queen of all of that. So you guys are bringing up some interesting basketball names. Derek Coleman. Shout out to Derek Coleman. Henry Sedilla said Jaguar is hurting about something in her life and airing people's business is her outlet to let it out. Low self-esteem. Maybe. Gregory Netta says Choke No Joke and Jaguar had beef and Choke called her out. I do believe it's because Jaguar called him out first. Choke No Joke seems to have been going at Jay-Z for a long time. I believe he used to work for Rockefeller or whatever. I find Choke No Joke very interesting. That's a person I would love to talk to. Never met him either. And I say I've never met these people, not that I know of. Because there's a lot of people who we've met over the years, and people will be like, you don't remember when we met so-and-so? I'll be like, oh, word, that was you? So I may or may not have met Jaguar Wright, Gene Deal, or Choke No Joke. But off the top of my head, I don't remember meeting them. Choke No Joke presents his case very intelligently, not saying that it's true. It could be true, it could be false, but he presents it in a way that sounds credible. And he was in the mix. But I don't know. I mean, this is all speculation. And Knox says the truth may have come out anyway, with or without Jaguar. True that. That is absolutely true. Because I believe that this Cassie situation was the catalyst for the whole thing. I mean, it was bubbling, but it's always been bubbling. It's always been bubbling, and they've always kept the lid on the pot. But that Cassie situation, when he paid her the money 2 days after the lawsuit, that's when the whole floodgates opened up. Let all the truth out, man. Terrell McMillan, thank you so much for your contribution once again to the channel. Much appreciated. Terrell McMillan is a regular on this channel. Thank you so much. He says, this the teacher, do this for life. Plus, I'm psychic, but I won't say who's doing your wife. You ain't raw like the coke in your rhyme recital. You've been out so much, you starting to look suicidal. KRS-One teacher returns. Yes, I shot in the KRS lyric. Yes. Thank you so much for your contribution, and let the truth come out, man. Ronan Ali, thank you so much, friend of the channel. Thank you for coming through. So the Jaguar Wright thing started when she found out the Roots didn't make it to Malik B's funeral back in 2020. Then she went in on anyone who Malik B helped and didn't acknowledge his death. Yes, that was the early Jag. And then she just, I don't know, she got some traction from that, and then she just started going. Now she was on Piers Morgan, who I'm not a fan of. I find him to be very disrespectful and condescending to his guests. But he's still big time platform, and she's on there. She was on there. I'm glad that I am far removed from all of that stuff, man. Far removed. Henry Sedilla once again said, and if she's telling other people's stories, what the F? Now that part is the part that is a little touchy. She is telling other people's stories, and it may not be her place to tell. Like if she's telling a crime, you know, I saw my friend got drugged, or I shouldn't even say that on YouTube. I might get flagged. You know, if she says something about her friends or she's seen some crime, that I think she could speak on if she wants, but to tell other people's stories about their personal sexuality and things like that, I don't know if it's her place to say that. That to me is a little malicious. Everything else, let it rock, man. GF Worrell says Snoop is on The Voice now. Wow. And once was a judge on Hip Hop Talent Show with T.I. and Cardi B. Would you ever get on a talent show, KP? Would be so cool to have more fresh hip hop artists being found. Yeah, I agree, but I would never. You know, I don't like about talent, about judge. I don't like judging people's music. Like I said, I don't. Basically, you have to tell somebody that they don't have it, and they'll never make it, or they're not good enough, and to get off the stage. And I don't believe that. I think everyone can make it. They might not be good enough at that moment. They might need some work. They might need some polishing. They might be good enough and just need the right song, need the right producer. And just, you know, you can shatter people's dreams like that. And I would never want to shatter somebody else's dream. So for that, I would not like to be a talent show host just because of, you know, and I like competition. I come from a sports background, but I don't want to crush people's dreams, man. Plus, you just don't know. You don't know who's going to be a star. But I could tell you some people who I met, and if I showed you them when I met them and I told you this person would be a star, you'd be like, hell no. And then there's artists that I've seen, rappers, singers, who I'm like, that person is it. They got it. They got talent. That person is going to go. And you never heard from them again. Charles 13X says, enough of Jaguar Wright. Let's get back to hip hop. But I believe Jaguar Wright is very relevant to what's going on. But if you want to talk about something else, bring it up. But hip hop, what's going on right now in the music business is as relevant or more relevant than even what was going in the music that was going on. We're finally finding out the truth, y'all. We're finding out why some people became stars and why some people didn't, why people got jerked, why people quit, why some people made it. We're finding out all of this stuff now. And it's very, if you were in the music business like I was in the 90s and the 2000s, and you fought and you struggled to get, and you had an artist, you worked with artists, and you had to fight to get every little thing, every step of the way was like a major, major fight. And you're like, why is this so hard? And, you know, there's a lot of factors involved, but one of the factors is that you didn't play the game right. And now you're finding out there was a nasty game that was going on, which you knew, but you didn't really know the depths. I want all of this stuff to come out. I find it very interesting. Engage WR YouTube channel says, hit that like button. Please, yes, y'all, hit the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. Ant Knox Elsa, I remember exactly when that Craig G Supernet battle went down. Crazy. Please check out my Epic Fails Juice Crew. I talk about this. Please check it out. It's on this channel. I did it about 6 months ago. Epic Fails Juice Crew. I go into detail about that. Charles 13X says, excuse me, I feel Kenny deserves a doctorate in hip hop. I wish. I am just an incredible fan of hip hop since day one. And I've been in the game for decades. And I've been fortunate enough to be right in the mix with all the stuff that was going on. So I got a lot of behind the scenes observations, and I hung out probably as much or more than just about anybody in the history of rap. So I've seen a lot of the club action. So I have a lot of different perspectives. Plus BDP was rocking for so long. So I got to see a lot of different eras of rap, and we still had hits. So I got to see a lot. And that's why I started this channel, so I can just talk to you guys and try to give you a different perspective than what's out there. I think a lot of people that's out there, a lot of them are, in my opinion, some of the people I see talking about hip hop and talking about things, especially in New York, I'll be like, who that? I was outside. I don't remember seeing this person. And now all of a sudden they're like an authority on what was going on. I don't remember this person at all. And I used to be in the club and I used to know like 60% of the people in there. And some other people I see, they talk and they have agendas and they mislead. And there's a lot of opinions. I have an opinion on everything, but it doesn't really matter what my opinion is. I mean, we talk about opinions, but I like to talk on this channel about things that I've seen. So, but yes, I appreciate that compliment. You know who's way more knowledgeable than me about hip hop? KRS, man. If you ever get a chance to sit down and talk to KRS about hip hop, man, that guy, now he is super knowledgeable. Terrence Hill said, I was watching a video of a show KRS did at Petona Park in the Bronx back in 2009. I remember that show. Kenny, you were the DJ, and you can see me in the video as well. Good times. Yes. Yes. See people shout out Walter Davis on this channel, the Greyhound from North Carolina. Benny Doyle brought up Walter Berry, one of my all-time favorite St. John's players ever. Henry Sedilla says, you know, Kenny, I thought ICU was your big brother. You talked about it. Salute to D Nice. Shout out to D Nice. Yes, ICU is my brother's best friend. He was my brother's best friend. And he called him his brother. Charles 13X says, the return of the boom bap is the best era of BDP. What was the best era of KRS? That's not a BDP album. Trig says, you were in the video, MC Zaka, they don't know. Yes, I was. Let's scroll down. I'm jumping all the way. Scientific says, what's up, Kenny? Is it true KRS used to live in a freezer? Please get the book. It's all in there. Yes. Ilroy says, your PM Dawn video is one of the best things I've seen on the internet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Ilroy. Yeah, I do a whole long breakdown of that whole thing. And some people are like, it's too long. You gave too many details, but I like details. I wanted to give the whole story from beginning to end. So, and dispel some of the rumors and misinformation out there. Eric Best, hey Kenny, it must be a political thing why KRS-One is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. His body of work impeccable, and the Criminal Minded album is just as good as Illmatic. Yeah, I do believe it's a political thing. He hasn't even been nominated yet. I believe he probably won't get nominated as long as he's alive, sadly. I think, unfortunately, whenever he passes, then you get the posthumous look. You notice everybody in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame rappers, there's a death in the group. Either they're no longer here or someone in the group passed. And then you get that look. I guess it's like okay, your career is officially over. Now let's look back at it. Also, KRS-One is broken up into Boogie Down Productions and KRS-One. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame treats soloists and groups separately. So the question would be, is Boogie Down Productions has 5 albums? Is Boogie Down Productions should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or does KRS-One should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? They don't combine these things. So that could be part of it too. But I've talked on this channel. I've had a whole rant about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think it's bullshit. Their criteria is so weird to me. The criteria that they use, and then they just move it all around to fit. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is the biggest award an artist can get. But you think about the artists who are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or who just made it. It's ridiculous, man. Def Rocker, were you there when Craig G battled Supernatural? No, but please check out my Juice Crew Epic Fails. It's on this channel. Epic Fails, the title is Juice Crew. I go into a whole thing about that. Oh my God. Floetry White says Wendy couldn't mind her business if her life depended on it. That is true. That is facts. Henry Cedillo says, you guys said Wendy Williams got hands and can go toe to toe with some guys. I don't know. Yeah, Wendy, that was her thing. She was the gossiper. She actually created that genre in rap. No one was doing what Wendy was doing before Wendy. Wendy came out. She started it on Kiss FM, and she started talking about people on her show, and she talked about the wrong people and got fired. And then WBLS in New York picked her up. And when she got on BLS, man, she became an animal. And her ratings went through the roof. But yeah, Wendy Williams. Shout out to Wendy. Let's see. I'm trying to find good comment. You people talking about David Robinson. Shout out to the Admiral. Gregory Netta says Piers Morgan is a racist. I don't know if Piers Morgan is a racist, but he is very I'm not a fan. Eric Best says bring back Heather B. Hey, it's been months. It's been about when Heather came on, like a year ago. It might be time to bring Heather back on here. She's very obnoxious. Last time she came on. Drizzy, I don't know if this is true. Is this true, Kenny? I heard why Gene so disgruntled. He asked Diddy for money. He told him, I don't have it. Gene threatened to tell Diddy. Gene threatened to tell Diddy said, I don't care. I don't know if that's true. I mean, that would be. Gene Deal in himself couldn't hurt Diddy like that. He could hurt his reputation, but not really, because Gene Deal's been talking for years, and yet Diddy's been doing Diddy. It was the Cassie. That and something else is going on. Like I said, there's something else going on behind the scenes because why now has always been my question. Brand Yakubian says, I heard KRS-One is a vegetarian. Is that true? Are you a vegetarian? I'm a pescatarian. So is KRS-One. We eat fish. Wow, we're at 1 hour and 10 minutes, y'all. Wow. Let me do a plug real quick. This is the DJ Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to rock a little while longer if you guys want to. I'm just scrolling through trying to find some questions and some comments. Adam Bump, Ozak, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. Really appreciate it. He says, yo, Kenny, how you been? Been a minute. Yes, it has. What mixer do you use on Worldwide Live album? Oh, man, I wish I knew. We used to have the mixer. They used to have sound effects on it. Woo! We used to have a gunshot. Woo! We used to have like 6 sound effects on it. Chris used to buy those mixers. I cannot remember for the life of me. And we used to have a ton of them. We used to take them on tour. We used to get all banged up. I can't remember the name of that mixer, man. And it's a shame because I wish I had one right now. I had a bunch of sound effects on it. So whenever you hear like, if you listen to the live album, you hear like shots, and you hear like a siren, woo, all that's me hitting the sound effects. I guess maybe if you look on the live video, it's on YouTube, maybe they'll get a little close up. Let's see. Rosmel says, judging isn't always a bad thing. Constructive criticism is a good thing. I agree. I mean, giving constructive criticism would be dope. And it still is just my opinion. But these shows are not really set up for constructive criticism. It's more of a competition to find a winner and a bunch of losers. And you can come in 10th in one of these shows and be incredible. And somebody can be like, you just don't got it. Or you could be not even make the cut. You ever see the tryouts? Some of the people that be in those tryouts be all right to me. I used to watch some of these shows way back in the early 2000s. And I used to see some of the people who didn't make the cut that was actually all right. That to me had enough talent to make it. But who knows? So hard, man. The music game and to get a hit, it's so hard. Adam Bump says, Mr. DJ Kenny Parker, God bless you. How have you been? I've been great. Thank you so much for the blessings, and God bless you too. I've been great, man. Thank you. Let's see. Stephen Brooks said, in my opinion, 1995 was the last great year of hip hop. I don't know, maybe. That Purple tape came out in 96. Muddy Waters, Redman came out in 96. Big, Pac. There's a lot going on in 96. Fugees. I mean, I can hear your argument. Benny Doyle says, Kenny, shout out JT one time for the replay. He's a Red Cup legend. Yes, shout out JT, a regular on the channel. Always. JT been rocking with us the whole ride. This is show number 62. I do believe that at least probably like 58 of them or something have been in a row. We've been in a row, like I can't remember because I used to come on sporadically, and we decided to do it every Tuesday, 8 o'clock. So whenever we decided, I think it was like 4 shows in, and we've been rocking every week for 58 weeks. So we got a nice little streak going, y'all. I hope to keep it going. Drizzy says Michael Ray Richardson played for the Nets. Yes, I used to like him when he played for the Knicks too. Let's see. Flochi says KRS should teach a master class on how to do a live show. Yes, he should. But if you read his book, it's called The Gospel of Hip Hop. I think it's called The Gospel of Hip Hop, which is really like 3 books combined into one book. He has a whole breakdown of live performances for MCs. It's really good and detailed how he breaks it down. But yeah. Ronan Ali, it doesn't make sense that black artists are treated like they are pledging for fraternity at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, waiting years to be accepted. Yeah. For criteria that I don't even understand. It's just weird, man. I just, what is it, like 15 rappers, rap groups, rap artists, rap acts that's in the Hall of Fame right now? That's dope. LL Cool J got nominated 2 times before he finally got. It took LL Cool J 3 times to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. How? In his category, rap, how? And what did he do differently the first 2 times? What did he do the 3rd time that was different than the first 2 times he got nominated? Nothing. If he was good enough to get in the 3rd time, why wasn't he good enough to get in the 1st time? He didn't drop any new music. He didn't have a #1 hit. What's the difference? And is it because how many people get picked in a certain year? They don't have a set number of people. They could pick 2. They could pick 10. It's just stupid, man. I'm not a fan at all, but I'm happy for the people that got in. And then there's people that got in, like you look at LL, he didn't make it. Rakim didn't make it. LL didn't make it 2 times, and then they went past LL's era, and then they put in Missy, and then they went back to LL's era. Like, what sense does that make? If you're in the 2000s, then why are you going back to the 90s then? It's just weird, man. But that's just my argument. Let me see if I can find a couple more. This is a good point, Floetry. Says, I don't like gossip because I don't want to be gossiped about. That's simple. True. But in music, and when you're in a public eye, it's a little bit different. There's a $1 billion industry surrounding gossiping about celebrities. Between paparazzi, magazines, television shows, TMZ, worldwide, and this has been going on for decades. Gossip about celebrities is big business. So it seems like once you get in the game, you got to watch your moves. But the thing is that, and here's what I think is happening. A lot of these celebrities went to these P. Diddy eyes wide shut parties, and it was understood that whatever goes on in these parties stays in these parties. Just like the Playboy Mansion and Hugh Hefner, same type of stuff. And so you went in there and you let your hair down, so to speak. But what you didn't know is that A, he was taping and possibly using it for future reference, which is whack. And B, that stuff would come out later on, decades later, as criminal charges. So I think a lot of these celebrities that went to these things, because there's exclusive places celebrities go where other celebrities are and people are in the know. And in order for you to even work there, you have to sign NDAs and be vetted, so that when you're a celebrity, you can feel free to come places and enjoy yourself without paparazzi or without being on TMZ the next day. And I think these parties was the epitome of their Caligula fun. And now it's getting exposed. So a lot of these people are probably like, yo, we thought we was, in the privacy of our little clique. But they wasn't. A lot of people are going to get exposed. Did you see the lawyer? There's a lawyer representing 120 women. They started a hotline for anybody who has ever been abused by Puffy. And they said 3,000 women called this hotline. Now, most of it is bullshit. But out of 3,000 people, they vetted it all the way down to 120 what they feel legitimate cases that they think they can take to court. And this one lawyer is representing 120 of these girls. These are new charges, but this is civil, not criminal. And he said that they have evidence in their possession, tapes of P. Diddy engaged in certain acts, possibly illegal, with a celebrity of higher profile than Puffy. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I call him Puffy, y'all, because we go back to the 90s, like just Diddy, whatever. He's an A-list celebrity. He's been an A-list celebrity since the 90s. So you're saying there's people on this tape higher celebrity than him? Wow. And he also said that he has contacted some of these celebrities behind the scenes to see if they would pay to stay out of this civil suit. And some of them have agreed to pay. So there's people that's paying not to be part of this suit, which you should. He says, we got 120 girls. You're on this tape. Before we take this to court, do you want to settle? And people are like, here, take this money. So a lot is coming out, man. It's going to be interesting to see how this all goes down. But I say all that to say gossip is big business, man. And it's never going to stop. Charles 13X said it had to be a Newmark or Gemini. I think it was a Gemini. Mixer with the sound effects. Damn, I wish I could remember. Gargan Fluck, what's good? Haven't seen that name in a while. What's going on? Says Tupac has an unreleased song from Machiavelli dissing Wendy Williams. It's called Watch Your Mouth. It's great. You know how great that would have been for Wendy if that had came out? Tupac dissing her would have gave her more credibility. Absolutely. But yeah, Wendy has no friends because she dished on everybody. That was her thing. Corey Floyd, Kenny, LL Cool J's verse on Flavor in Your Ear remix. What did you think? Did you like it? Well, yeah, I did like it at the time. I liked it. I didn't even know half of what he was talking about. He was talking in code. So I liked how it sounded, but I didn't know what he was talking about. Now we're finding out some of this stuff is code. But yeah, I like that whole song. Anything on that beat was just rocking. And plus, you got to imagine at that time, we hadn't heard from LL in a couple years. LL was quiet. We hadn't heard from LL. He did the Pink Cookies in a Plastic Bag and all that. That was like early 93, right? Late 92. And then he was quiet for like a year and some change, a year and a half. And then boom, he comes with that. So that was dope. I believe that Puff was going to produce him at that time. That's why they put him on that remix. Maddie Cake says, don't think that pescatarians eat nothing but fish. I don't know if it's nothing but fish, but it's not meat, not red meat. If I recall, I could have the terminology wrong. The Green Talons, yo, DJ KP, what did you one question? MC Hammer appeared on KRS-One's second solo album. I don't remember that. That would be the one in 1995, self-titled. It was a skit. Do you remember that? And have you met him in person like he did? I don't remember that at all. I didn't remember that till you just said it. Hammer was on the KRS album? I don't remember that. I have never met MC Hammer. But by all accounts, he was real. He was real in them streets. We're approaching an hour and a half, y'all. I'm going to do some more and then we're going to get off. Ray Khan album was 95. Yeah, Purple Tape was 90. Yeah, it was 95. Hold on. Because Meth dropped in 95. ODB dropped in 95. Maybe it was right towards the end of 95 going into 96 because no, Meth dropped in 94. Meth's album came out in 94, but All I Need was big in like the summer of 95. Then ODB dropped in 95 going into 96. Are we sure that the Purple Tape came out in 95? Gargle Flux says Purple Tape was the end of 95. Yeah, okay. It's the end of 95 going into 96. Because I remember it being hot in 96, but I guess it dropped. Technically, it dropped in 95. You are correct. Rosmel says Purple Tape is 95. Yeah. I'm going to answer a couple more, y'all. We're going to get out of here. Joey Joe says, damn, 62 episodes. Wow. Yes, we had episode 62 of us just kicking it. KP, any chance to get Cool V on here? You know, I need to talk to Cool V. That's my man, actually. We were supposed to do a mutual book thing like about a year and a half ago, and then it didn't work out. I need to talk to Cool V. That would be dope to get V on here. He has a lot of information. Floetry says Simon Cowell is a dream killer. Yes, he was. I mean, he made a lot of people's careers, but he disrespected a lot of people. Wax Prophetic says, KP, I'm from the Bay Area. Shout out to the Bay. We thought the end of hip-hop was the shiny suit era. Was the shiny suit era even a thing on the East Coast? Yes, it was. Everybody called it the shiny suit era. Yes, it was. Richard Adams says, hit the like button. Before we get out of here, hit the like button, please. It helps out the channel. Please. Ilroy, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. Really appreciate it. Says, peace to the show streak. Word, we're keeping it alive. Next week, we're probably going to have a guest. I'm not sure, though. The scheduling to get people is a little tough, but possibly next week we'll have a guest. All right, we're getting out of here, y'all. Tampa Bay says, KP, don't you go on vacation? No, I have not been on vacation. I don't even really like to travel that much. All them years on the road, we did me personally, I did it like 12 years straight of nonstop traveling around the world. I'm not complaining. It was an incredible experience. But after that, you just keep be like, okay, I'm good. And I've just been holding on to that for a long time. Like, okay, I'm good. If I was flying around a private jet, now that might be a little different. Right, y'all. We had an hour and a half. We're going to jump off. This is the DJ Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to the people that's going to be on the checkout and the rewind. I love you guys. I'm going to catch you guys next week. I'm going to read some of these comments. And God willing, we all be here next week. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.